And I'm going to say those magic words. We're going to begin lying down. Everybody's favourite. It doesn't happen very often, so make the most of it while you can. You can either have your legs outstretched, or you can bring your knees bent, feet flat to the floor. Arms can rest on the torso or rest out wide from the body, entirely your choice. We're just going to spend a few moments here just to tune into the breath. So just bringing your awareness to the inhale and to the exhale. With the eyes gently closed. Just letting the body sink down into the mat. Letting yourself arrive in the space. Feeling the belly rise and fall. The chest expand and contract. And we're going to begin with a few rounds of the 3-part breath. We've all done this before, but let's do it in stages anyway. Let's ease ourselves gently into it. So let's bring the hands to the belly first of all, fingertips gently touching, elbows resting wide on the mat. And we're going to direct the breath into the hands, so really expanding and contracting the belly, drawing the air in all the way to the bottom of the lungs. And keeping the breath through the nose if we can. Relaxing the jaw and the tongue inside the mouth. Feeling the fingertips move apart as the belly rises. And moving back together as the belly falls. And then let's bring our fingertips to our rib cage. I don't want to spend too much time on this initial stage because we've all done it before. So bringing the fingertips to the rib cage. Releasing the focus on the belly, bringing it to the middle of the chest, middle of the torso. Inhaling, feeling the rib cage expand, and exhaling, feeling it contract, the fingertips moving back together. So this is where most of us will breathe on a day-to-day basis. This should feel probably the easiest. Excuse me. And then let's bring the fingertips up to the collarbone, the difficult one. Really trying to fill the lungs all the way to the top, trying to feel that flutter of the breath behind the collarbones. If that proves difficult this morning, just try and visualise the breath coming all the way to the top of the lungs. And then when you're ready, let's bring the one hand back to the belly. Let's leave one on the collarbone if that's comfortable for you. Feel free to pop it on the ribs instead if that's better. And let's try, excuse me, I've got a frog in my throat this morning. Let's try and put the 3 parts together. So we're inhaling like a wave from the belly into the chest, into the collarbones, and exhaling from the collarbones, the chest and the belly. Really feeling the torso expanding and contracting, the lungs working at their full capacity. And I'm not going to talk you through the rhythm, I want you to use the rhythm of your own breath, making that wave-like motion. Nice calming breathing practice to ease us into what's going to be a more energising asana practice this morning. When you're ready, releasing the breath, releasing the hands to wherever's comfortable. Just take a moment to notice the quality now of the natural breath, the rhythm of the natural breath. And then gently bringing the knees into the torso one at a time. Maybe taking a little roll around on the lower back if that feels nice. We're just going to ease ourselves up to seated. I've got the doors to the studio open this morning, so if it gets a bit noisy, let me know. The bird seems to be very noisy this morning. So let's bring ourselves cross-legged if we can. Sitting up nice and tall on the sitting bones, lengthen the spine. Gosh, thirsty already this morning, that must be too much coffee. I'm going to inhale the arms up overhead, interlacing the fingers, turning the palms up if that feels nice, having a big stretch. And then taking a little bend to the right hand side, feeling a side bend there from the ribs down to the hip bone. Inhaling back to centre and exhaling over to the left. And that big stretch, maybe a little pull on the hands if that feels nice. Inhaling back to centre. We're going to bring the hands out in front of us. Inhale, lengthen the spine, exhaling, just hinging forwards as we've done many times before, just that point of resistance, and taking a little sway if that feels nice. Or maybe just sitting in the stillness if that feels better for you this morning. Inhaling, easing yourself up. We're going to bring the arms out wide, bending them at the elbows. We're going to bring the elbows in towards each other, just making the elbows match if that's enough for you this morning. But if you want a little bit more stretch into the back of the shoulders, we're going to bring the right elbow on top. We're coming into Garudasana arms, wrapping the hands around, maybe the back of the hands are just together. Make sure we're pushing the elbows forwards, we're not resting on our cleavage if we're lucky enough to have one. And then taking a breath in, let's lift the elbows up a couple of inches. Exhaling, lowering it down. Inhaling, elbows up. Exhaling, lowering it down. And then we're just going to make some little circles one way with the elbows and the other. Oh, that feels good for me this morning. Good. Release those arms off, give them a little bit of a shake. We're going to sweep the arms behind, interlacing the fingers, pushing the hands away from the lower back, rolling the shoulders back and down. Maybe tucking the chin if that feels nice, just feeling that stretch across the front of the shoulders. Good, then releasing the hands. We're going to cross the legs the other way, the uncomfortable way. Again, ground those sitting bones, lengthen the spine as we inhale, and as we exhale, gently easing ourselves forwards. Just to the point of resistance. We're going to do some more work into the hips in a little while, so let's not rush it. Taking a gentle sway if that feels nice. Maybe staying still if that's better for you this morning. Then gently easing yourself up. Let's bring the arms wide again. We're bending at the elbows. We're going to bring the elbows in close to each other, either staying there or popping the left elbow on top and wrapping the arms around this time. Right, eagle arms. Elbows moving forwards, away from the body. Inhaling the elbows up a couple of inches. Exhale, lowering down. I'm saying a couple of inches, mine's a couple of millimetres this morning. Inhaling the elbows up. Exhaling them back down. And then making little circles one way with the shoulders. Little circles the other way. Good, release the arms off, give them a shake. And we're going to bring the hands behind us one more time. Interlace those fingers, push the hands away from the lower back, roll the shoulders back. Maybe tucking the chin if that feels good for you. Making sure you're sitting up nice and tall, not collapsing in the waist. Release those hands. Let's bring ourselves over onto our hands and knees. So hands directly on the shoulders, or maybe slightly in front if that's better for your wrists this morning. Knees directly in the hips. Let's spread the fingers out, just as we've done before, like trying to pick up a basketball with one hand. And we're going to start with a few rounds of everyone's favourite cat-cow. So take a breath in, and as you exhale, let's tuck the tailbone under, pull the belly button in, push up into the back of the shoulders, head tucks under last of all. Then inhaling, lifting the sitting bones, melting the belly button towards the mat, chest comes through the arms, gaze up last of all. And repeating that with your own breath. I'm not going to talk you through it, you all know this, like the back of your hand. Doing a few rounds, easing in to wherever feels like it needs it. Getting distracted by, oh, Harry's dog hair on my mat this morning. There's a reminder to turn the focus more inwards. Coming back to that neutral position. Let's tuck the toes under. We're lifting the hips up and back for downward facing dog, but we're going to keep the knees bent first of all. Concentrate on pulling the belly in, letting the sitting bones rise up to the sky, feeling that strong pelvic tilt, and melting the chest through. Ears are ruffling between the biceps, firm the hands, give the head a wiggle, a bit of a shake, make sure there's no tension in the neck. And then once we're happy with the upper body, let's start to walk the heels up and down a little bit. We are concentrating mainly on the front side of the body today. We won't be doing a lot into the back of the legs, so enjoy this while you can. Let the heels settle towards the mat if you like to. Bring the legs towards straight if you'd like to. Spend a couple of moments here. And then let's tiptoe the feet in towards the hands, keeping them straight for as long as you can. And butt bending them as we get to the top for our first Ustrasana forward fold. Relax the hands, relax the head. Feel the connection between the legs and the body. Good, then gently rolling ourselves up to standing. Rolling the shoulders back a couple of times as you get to the top. Feels quite nice this morning. Good. Okay, bringing yourself now to the top of the mat. Feet at hip distance. Pulling the kneecaps up, coming into Tadasana mountain pose. You know all the cues. Let's tuck that tailbone under, pull the belly button in. Shoulders rolling back and down, the palms face forward. Jaw is parallel to the floor. From here, we're going to find a gazing point, a drishti. Something that we can focus on that isn't going to move. Then we're going to bend the right knee, keeping the knees as close together as we can. And if we can, we're going to grab the right foot with the right hand and then reach the left hand round as well. Just for a quad stretch, keep those knees together. Pushing that knee backwards if you can. Keep the shoulders rolling back. Keep balancing. I can't look at you, my balance is awful this morning. This is it though, we're not doing a lot. Release that right foot down. Take a breath in, sweeping the arms up. Exhaling, right hand to right leg, left hand comes over just for a side stretch. Inhaling, the hands back up to centre, exhaling, side stretch over to the left, left hand to left thigh, right arm reaches over. Inhale back to centre, release the arms. We're going to bend the left leg this time, find your gazing point, bend that knee. Grasping the left foot with the left hand and maybe with the right hand as well with the right foot, that would be a good trick. Keep the knees in line with each other. Keep pulling that heel in towards the buttocks, rolling the shoulders back. Good, releasing that leg down. Reground the feet. Take a breath in, let's sweep the arms all the way up. And exhale, swan diving forwards. We're coming into our sun salutations. Let's see if we can persuade the sun to come out this morning. Offering up our salutations. So let's just hang here. We'll do this first one nice and slowly. So bend the knees, fingertips to the mat, let the head hang. Inhale, straightening the legs, the back comes halfway, fingertips to shins, gaze is forward. Holding here for a breath or two. And exhale, refolding, bend those knees, fingertips to the mat. Under control, let's step that right foot back, a massive stride, dropping the right knee down. And from here, we're going to keep the fingertips on the mat, but we're going to take a breath in, really lengthen the spine, the crown of the head forwards, and exhale, let the hips drop. So we've really got that length in the spine. The body and the leg are connected. Letting gravity work on those hips. Good, flatten the hands, let's step back into plank. Excellent, just holding here for another breath or two. And lowering the knees. Let's lower the elbows down to the mat, forearms are flat on the floor, and drop the hips for Sphinx. Might need to adjust so that the elbows are under the shoulders, don't have the elbows too far back. You'll struggle to relax into it. And then relaxing the legs, the buttocks, perhaps even shrugging into those shoulders a bit. Let the head relax. Gaze between the forearms or the thumbs, wherever's comfortable. Just let everything relax. This is our first back bend. Today's focus is all on the back bends. We're coming towards Camel Ustrasana. Yes, Helen, this one's for you. And then we're going to bring the hands back underneath the shoulders, tuck the toes under, and coming through hands and knees to downward facing dog. You can keep the knees slightly bent still if you prefer, making sure that we're melting the chest through, tucking the chin in. Let's spend a moment. Good, inhaling the right leg all the way up behind. Let's bend the right knee, allowing the right heel to fall towards the left sitting bone. Perhaps taking the gaze under the right armpit if that feels nice. Big stretch down that left leg. Good, we're going to make some big circles with that knee now. So bringing the right knee towards the left and then opening it all the way up. 3 big circles one way. And 3 big circles the other way. Getting that hip moving and opening it up. Then re-straightening the leg all the way up behind you. As we exhale, coming high on those left toes, tucking the knee right into the chest, stepping it through and dropping the left knee down. Good, if that foot doesn't come with you, get over it and make it come with you. Again here, we're just going to lengthen the spine forwards, crown of the head moving forwards, and then lowering back in. Not worrying too much if we do start to lunge over the front toes a little bit. Just for this one, let the hips drop. Good, tucking the toes under, let's step to the top of the mat for forward fold, Ustrasana. Inhaling halfway, flat back. And exhaling, refold, bend those knees if you need to. Inhale, reach all the way up to the top, gaze to the thumbs. And exhale, swan diving straight into our second side. Inhale halfway. Exhale, refold. Let's step that left foot all the way back. Really big stride back. This time we want to make sure the front knee is directly above the ankle. And let's sweep the arms all the way up for our low lunge, Ustrasana. Exhale, bend those elbows, send them back and down. Feel that stretch across the chest. And that slight back bend that brings with it. Exhaling, the hands come down, we're stepping back into plank. Just cracky elbows this morning, lovely. Good, drop those knees, keep the elbows tucked in. Let's lower the chin and chest towards the mat. And push through for a gentle cobra. The back's doing the work, not the hands. Press the tops of the feet and the legs into the mat. Exhaling, pushing back for downward facing dog. Good, create that beautiful upside down V shape. Yes, you all look amazing. Inhale that left leg all the way up behind. We're going to bend the left knee, allowing the left heel to fall towards the right sitting bone. Gaze under the left armpit if that feels okay. Bend that right knee if it starts to feel too much in the back of the right leg. And then we're going to make big circles with the knee on this side. Opening that hip one way. 3 circles one way. Now changing direction, 3 circles the other way. Good, re-straighten that leg point, those toes all the way up behind you. And then let's next exhale, coming high on the right toes, tucking the left knee into the chest, stepping it through, dropping the right knee down. Good, check that knee's directly above the ankle. Then we're sweeping the arms all the way up. Exhale, bending those elbows, sending them back and down. Good. One more breath. The hands come down. Stepping the right foot to join the left at the top of the mat, forward fold. Inhale halfway, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, refold. Inhale, reach all the way to the top. Exhale, the hands are in prayer. We're doing one more. So re-ground the feet, standing up nice and tall. Grab a quick drink if you need to. It's really warm this morning, isn't it? Good. Put my out of the way so I can't knock it over. Standing up nice and tall, roll the shoulders back and down. Inhale, reach the arms all the way up to the top. Exhale, swan diving forwards. Inhale, halfway. Exhale, refold. Let's step that right foot all the way back, dropping the right knee down. Inhaling the arms up. Exhaling, we're interlacing the fingers behind the lower back, just as we did before, rolling the shoulders back and down. Really push the hands away from the lower back. Feel that opening on the front of the right hip. Exhaling, the hands are coming down, we're stepping back into plank. Good, lower the knees, chin and chest towards the mat. Come all the way down. We're going to bring the hands out wide to the side and we're going to come onto our fingertips. So the elbows are pointing up towards the ceiling, we've got a bend in the elbows. Take a breath in as you exhale. Let's lift the body up, pushing into those fingertips. We're in a wide fingertip cobra, keep pushing the tops of the feet down. Exhale, lowering down, hands come back underneath the shoulders, tucking the toes for downward facing dog. Good, inhaling the right leg all the way behind. Exhaling, stepping it through, dropping the left knee down. Inhale, reach the arms all the way up. Exhaling, interlacing the fingers behind the lower back. Roll those shoulders back. Push the hands away. One more breath. And lowering the hands. Stepping the left foot to join the right in Uttanasana. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, refold. Inhale, reach all the way up to the top. Exhale, swan diving down, second side. Inhale, lift and lengthen. Exhale, refold, fingertips come down. We're stepping the left foot back, we're staying high on the toes this time. We're coming into a high lunge. If you prefer a low lunge, then please do take that option. We're keeping the knee deeply bent, bringing the body up and reaching the arms overhead for crescent lunge. Good, holding there. Exhaling, the hands come down, stepping back into plank. Good, from here we can do knees, chin and chest to lower down or chaturanga. Pushing through for cobra or upward facing dog. Nice, well done everyone. And exhaling back to downward facing dog. Inhaling the left leg all the way up behind. Exhaling, we're stepping it through, staying high. Gosh, that was a stamp, wasn't it? Staying high on those right toes. Bending the left knee deeply. Let's ease ourselves up, sweeping the arms overhead. Good, exhaling. The hands come down, we're stepping the right foot to join the left at the top of the mat. In our forward fold. Inhale, halfway. Exhale, refold. Inhale, reach the arms all the way up to the top. Exhaling, hands are in prayer. Grab another quick drink if you need to. Now I'm getting really warm now. And then return into the top of the mat when you're ready. Spread those toes out. for your hip distance. Maybe bringing the feet out a tiny little bit wider for this one. Just going to bring them out so that the outside edge of the foot is in line with the outside edge of the hip now. Rolling the shoulders back and down. Take a breath in, we're sweeping the arms up. And as we exhale, we're sitting back and down into chair, Ustrasana. If we can, we're going to keep the biceps by the ears. If that's more difficult, don't worry. Inhaling, we're bringing the hands into prayer at the chest. We're then going to sweep the hands behind us, interlacing the fingers, lifting the hands away from the lower back. Try and keep the crown of the head moving up and forwards. Then exhaling, folding forwards, keeping the hands behind us. We're coming into Ustrasana with the hands interlaced, lifting the hands away from the lower back, opening those shoulders. If your hands are glued to your lower back, don't worry. Exhale, bending the knees deeply, sweeping the arms up for Ustrasana, chair pose. And we're going to do that one more time. Let's sweep those hands behind us, interlace those fingers, shoulders back and down. Exhale, folding forwards into Ustrasana, lifting those hands. Nice. Inhale, bending those knees, sweeping the arms up. Watch it. Good, exhale, folding forwards, hands come down. We're just going to step back to downward facing dog. Lowering the knees, just coming onto our hands and knees. We're going to turn the fingertips now so that they point outwards. Left fingertips point left, right fingertips point right. We're just going to do a few wrist exercises, just a slightly different ones today for a change. So once we've got the fingertips point outwards, we're just going to take a little sway to the left and to the right. Good, then we're going to turn the fingertips so that they point inwards, left fingertips point right, right fingertips point left. And again, taking a little sway, feeling that stretch in the forearms. Good, if we can, we're going to bring the fingertips to point backwards. Fingertips point towards the knees. If you don't make it all the way through a bit of an angle, that's absolutely fine. But if you are at an angle, I don't want you to move from there. If you've got your fingertips pointing backwards completely, we can gently ease back a little bit. By a little bit, I mean about 0.5 millimetre. And feel that stretch on the inner forearm. Good. Keep breathing. Feel that burning in those forearms. Release all that tension from holding onto steering wheels, pens, keyboards. Good. Return those fingers to normal. We're going to come now onto the backs of the hands. If you don't like this one, repeat any of the others. So we're going to try and come onto the backs of the hands. You probably need to bring your hands in a little bit to be able to do this. So coming onto the backs of the hands, and if we can, just gently leaning into it. I know some people will hate this, so please feel free to skip it. Really stretching out those forearms. Coming back onto your hands and knees. Let's tuck the toes under, lifting the hips up and back for downward facing dog. Good, firm those hands. Let's inhale the right leg all the way up behind us. As we exhale, coming high on the left toes, tucking the right knee in, bringing the right knee to the right elbow. Pull that knee all the way in. Good. Inhale, reach that leg all the way up behind. Exhaling, knee to nose. Inhaling that knee all the way behind. And exhaling, knee to left elbow. Crunch it in. Hold it there. Inhale, reaching it all the way behind. And exhale, this time stepping it through, dropping that left knee down. Good, so make sure you've got a good distance here between the left knee and the right heel. Make sure it's a nice long lunge. And we're going to bring the hands up to the front knee. Rolling the shoulders back and down. We're going to bring the hands behind us one more time, interlacing those fingers. Say one more time, we'll do it about 4 more times, check this class. And trying to take a slight back bend if we can. Just be gentle here, don't go too far. Exhaling, the fingertips come down, sitting the hips back for a runner's stretch. Don't let the hips wander off over to the left hand side. Keep the length in the spine, hinging forwards, pull the right toes up towards you. bending that right knee if you need to. Cramping your right hip. Inhale, easing yourself forwards, sweeping the arms all the way up, just for a moment. And exhaling the hands down, one more run and stretch. Good, breathe into it, ease yourself forwards, lengthening the spine. Bringing yourself back through to that low lunge. We're going to bring the left hand down flat on the floor on the inside of the right foot. We're going to take a breath in. As we exhale, we're going to try and bend this left foot so it comes up behind us. If nobody's pinched it, we're going to try and grab it with the right hand. And if we can, we're going to ease ourselves up and grab it with the left hand as well. So we're repeating that quad stretch that we did standing, but we're right on the front of the knee here. Feel free to double the mat up or put something underneath that knee if you need to. And keep pulling that left heel in if you can. Good, releasing the foot, releasing the hands. We're going to wind to downward facing dog. Good, lower the knees. Let's take a moment in child's pose. Arms out ahead, arms wrapped around behind, knees wide, knees together, your choice. Make it a comfortable child's pose. We can have a couple of breaths here before we do the other side. Reconnect with the breath. Draw the awareness back into the body. And easing yourself back up onto your hands and knees. Excuse me, tucking the toes under, lifting the hips up and back down, we're facing dog. Good, inhaling the left leg all the way up behind us this time. Exhaling, left knee to left elbow. Good, inhaling it all the way up behind. Exhaling the left knee to nose. Lovely, inhaling left leg up behind. Exhaling it towards the right elbow. Pull it in. Good, exhaling it up behind. And this time stepping it through. Dropping the right knee down again. Perhaps moving that right knee back a little bit. Let's have a nice long lunge. Inhaling the hands all the way up. Exhaling, interlacing those fingers behind. Pushing the hands away from the lower back. Rolling the shoulders back and down. Feel those shoulder blades moving down either side of the spine. Fingertips come down, we're stepping back. We're sitting the hips back. For Ardha Hanumasana, run a stretch. Don't let the hips wander off. Pull the left toes up. Inhaling, gently easing yourself forwards. We're going to sweep the arms up. Exhaling, the fingertips come down, sitting the hips back, pulling the left toes towards you. Good, inhaling, easing yourself back into that lunge. Let's bring the right hand to the inside of the left foot. Give yourself room there though. When you're ready, let's try and bend this right knee. Grab it with the left hand. Take a moment. You probably need to find yourself a gazing point. Let's bring the right hand around. As well, if we can, roll the shoulders back and down, pulling that right heel in. Worst part, this is definitely front of the knee for me. Not about anyone else. Good, releasing the foot, bringing the hands back down to the mat. Tucking the right toes, coming back to downward facing dog. And let's lower the knees and take another child's pose. Again, make it your child's pose, make it as comfortable as you can. Good, then we're going to bring ourselves to lie on our fronts. Come to lie down, legs outstretched. And do a little chest stretch from here. So we're going to bring the left elbow out to the side, left arm, bent at the left elbow with the hand down on the floor. So you've got that cactus arm on the left hand side. We're going to turn the gaze to the right, rest the left ear on the mat. We're going to put the right fingertips down in front of the face, elbow rising up to the ceiling, and we're going to push into those fingertips to twist ourselves and feel a stretch across the left chest. If you can, we might be able to pop the right toes on the floor behind. I can only do this on this side, I can't do it on the other. So opening the chest. There's a twist in the back as well, around the lowest back if you can bring your leg over, but don't worry if you can't. Your chest is tight, you won't be able to. Good, inhaling, easing yourself back to centre. We're going to bring the right arm down onto the floor with that cactus arm, rest the palm on the floor. Right ear comes to the floor, gazes to the left. Left fingertips are in front of the face, left elbow points up towards the ceiling. We're going to push into that left hand to create that stretch on the front right hand side of the chest. And again, if you can, pop those toes over, no, not for me this morning, on this side, just to increase it, it's entirely your choice. Yeah, coming back to centre. Bring the forehead to the mat, we're coming into locust pose. Let's bring the hands by our side. Fingertips pointing in the same direction as the toes. Grounding the pelvis into the mat, grounding the torso into the mat. Take a breath in, and as you exhale, let's lift everything else up off the mat. Knees, feet, shoulders, hands, head. For a beautiful Shavasana. Keep breathing if you can. And exhaling, lowering down. We're going to bring the arms out in front of us this time. If we want to, you can repeat the last locust pose if that feels better for you. Just be mindful of your backs. If you want a bit more, let's bring the arms overhead, reaching the fingertips forwards. Take a breath in as you ground the pelvis down, and as you exhale, again lifting everything up off the mat, and you'll feel the difference those arms make overhead. Good, inhaling, lowering down. Make a pillow with the hands for the head, just spend a moment here. We're going to do one more locust pose. So let's return the forehead to the mat. It won't surprise you to know that we're going to interlace the fingers behind the lower back. Roll those shoulders back. Ground the pelvis as you inhale, and as you exhale, lifting everything up off the mat and trying to lift those hands away from the lower back as well. It's tough. Do what you can. Good. Exhaling, lowering down. Let's bring the hands underneath the head again. Let's get comfy for a moment. We've got another nice quad stretch now. So let's bring ourselves up onto our elbows a little bit. Let's bring the left forearm in front of the face so we can lean into that left hand. We're going to bend the right knee in. If we can, we're going to grasp the foot. Try and bring the hand on top of the foot if you can, so you can roll the shoulder back and bring the heel in towards the buttock. So you can see the difference between me just pulling it in and rolling the shoulder back, bringing the elbow pointing up towards the sky. Good. Half frog pose. We're not doing full frog pose, don't worry. Good, release that foot. Let's swap the hands over. We're leaning on the right forearm. Roll that left shoulder back. Let's bend the left knee in. Bringing the hand to the top of the left foot if we can. Keep rolling the shoulder back. Pushing the left heel in towards the buttock. Good, releasing that down. Again, let's just spend a moment resting our forehead on our hands. We've got one more pose while we're laid here on our backs. Sorry, we're not on our backs at all, are we? While we're laid here on our fronts. Okay, bring the forehead back down to the mat. We're going to come into bow pose, Dhanurasana. But if that's too much for you, if you think that it's going to be too much for your lower back or too strong this morning, then just repeat one of the locust versions instead. If you want to have a go at it, we're going to bend both knees in this time. We're going to bring the hands around either to the feet or to the ankles. Get a really good hold, rolling those shoulders back. That's really important. We don't want the feet to wander out to the side. We want to keep the feet moving in the same line as the knees. So take a breath in. As you exhale, we're pushing the feet away from us, lifting the chest. Strong back bend. Good. Exhale, lowering down. Coming onto the hands and knees. Really, really slowly, really, really gently. Bringing the knees underneath the hips and easing back into a child's pose. We want you to do it really slowly because we're going from a back bend to a forward bend, and you will feel the spine perhaps complaining a little bit about that. Reach those arms forward, crawl the fingertips away. Let's lengthen both sides of the body. Good, then bringing yourself up onto your hands and knees. I'm going to tuck the toes under, lifting the hips up and back for downward facing dog. Good, inhaling that right leg all the way up behind us. Exhaling, we're bringing it through, bringing the right knee towards the right wrist. We're coming into pigeon pose. So right knee towards right wrist, we're turning the right shin out. We're not going to try and bring it parallel to the straight edge and that. We're going to get it just wherever it's comfortable. We're then going to creep this left knee back if we feel comfortable with that. But we're making sure both hips are square with the mat. We're not wobbling off to one side or the other. You can bring a bit of padding or a block underneath this right hip if you need to. And we're just going to push into the fingertips and roll the shoulders back. So we're taking a slight back bend here, feeling that length down the front of the body. Good, then we're going to come down onto our elbows if that feels okay. Or we can come all the way down, forehead to the mat. If our hips feel like they want to let us do that this morning, stay on the elbows if everything's screaming. Easing yourself up. Walking the fingertips in, perhaps even bringing them back a little bit so they're in line with the hips. We're really sat up nice and tall now in this pose. Let's bend the left knee and grasping that foot. If we can reach it with the right hand and the left. Good, we can push the foot back away from us this time. Don't pull it in, push it back away from us. So we're pulling the shoulders back. Nice. Really open down the front of the body. Releasing the hands back down to the mat. Use the left toes to creep that left knee in a little bit. And then let's unwind to downward facing dog. That's the best feeling, isn't it? Let's walk those heels up and down. Good, let's inhale the left leg up behind. See what we're like on this side. Exhaling, bringing it through left knee towards left elbow. Left shin, coming forwards, creeping that right knee back if that feels okay, flattening that right foot down. And coming high on the fingertips just for this first one. Roll the shoulders back, pull the head back. Keeping the hips square, not wandering off to one side. Good, then bringing yourself either down onto your elbows or maybe forehead to the mat. Maybe noticing the difference between one side and the other. One side might be easier, one side might be more difficult. Then inhaling yourself back up. Walking the fingertips back again, so we're just in front of the hips, perhaps really rolling the shoulders back, we're nice and tall. We're going to bend the right knee, grabbing that right foot with the left hand and maybe the right one. Pushing that foot away and pulling the shoulders back. Not so graceful on this side, I'm falling out of it this morning. Release that foot when you're ready. Hands under shoulders, creep that right knee in. Easing ourselves back out. Ah, lovely, into downward facing dog. Good, lowering the knees. Child's pose. Okay, walking the hands in. We're going to come to kneeling. We've all done camel pose before, but I think we're ready now for this one. We've opened the front of the body, we've opened the shoulders and the chest. Let's see what we've got this morning. So we're going to do the 3 stages together. I'm not going to demonstrate first because you've all done it before. You're all quite proficient at back bends. But we're going to do the 3 stages together, and please do stay at any stage that feels comfortable for you, that feels enough for you. But we're well prepped to do a good one this morning, whichever level we're at. So let's bring the knees under the hips. I might be better sideways. Bring the knees under the hips. Probably bringing the knees again in line with the hips. Don't have them too narrow, it's just going to make life difficult for yourself. Flattening the feet down, rolling the shoulders back and down. We've been doing it all morning. Let's bring the hands into the lower back, fingertips pointing downwards, pushing the elbows in as though you're trying to get them to touch. First step we're going to do, we're going to take a breath in, we're just going to push the hips forwards and engage those glutes. Not doing anything else for a moment, just settle there, get the hands nice and comfy, supporting that lower back. And take a breath in as you exhale, pushing forward, starting to lean back with rolling the shoulders back, maybe opening the throat if that feels okay. Keep breathing, inhaling, easing yourself gently up. We're just going to bring the forearms down to the mat, we're not coming into child's pose, we're just going to bring the forearms down to the mat. Just take a moment here just to equalise everything, to steady yourself. It can make you feel a little bit lightheaded. And camel pose. Let's take it easy. Good, inhaling, bringing yourself back up onto your knees. If that felt like enough, then we're going to repeat that. If we want to go a little bit further, we're going to tuck the toes under. So we're reducing the distance that we've got to go. We're going to do the same thing. Let's bring the hands into the lower back. Roll the shoulders back and down. You'll find that will give you like another couple of inches to move backwards. That's why we've worked on it so much this morning. Firm those hands into the lower back. Starting to push the hips forwards. Take a breath in as you exhale. Really pushing the hips forwards, engaging the glutes, opening the throat. And if we can, bringing the hands to the feet, rolling the shoulders back. Entirely up to you whether you want to open the throat or not. And to come out, bring the hands into the lower back, easing yourself up, gaze last of all. Slowly, 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 ease yourself over again, just onto our forearms. Maybe tucking the chin might feel nice, letting the head hang. Good, bringing yourself up. We've got a third option now. We can do it with the feet flat now. But as I've said before, the difference between that and that is only a couple of inches, but it feels like about 3 feet some days. I'm not going for the third stage today. I did too much deadlifting on Friday to be starting doing strong back bends this morning. So feel free to go for that third stage if you want to. I'm going to stay with my toes tucked under. Do whatever feels right for your body this morning. So bringing the hands into the lower back, rolling the shoulders back and down, elbows moving together. Keeping the chin gently tucked for now, take a breath in as we push the hips forwards. And as we exhale, starting to ease ourselves gently back. Hands coming to the feet, if that's your choice. And opening the throat last of all. Keep the hips pushing forwards, don't collapse in that waist. Inhaling to bring yourself back out, hands into the lower back. Easing yourself over, onto your forearms. Nice and slowly, don't rush. Again, letting the head hang if that feels good. And then we're going to start to walk the hands away from us. We're going to come into a gentle puppy pose and a hatha pose. Keeping the hips stacked above the knees. We're bringing either the forehead or maybe the chin down to the mat. And walking the hands in, easing yourself back up onto your hands and knees. Let's come around to seated. Good. So we're sat on our sitting bones. Move any junk in the trunk out of the way. Legs are straight. We're going to pull the toes up towards us. Coming into Dandasana staff pose. You'll know how much I love this. Hands are flat by our sides, slight pressure into the hands, rolling the shoulders back and down. How many times have I said that today, do you reckon? About 300. Pull those right toes up, pull both toes up towards you, but don't allow the heels to come off the floor if that's what's going to happen. Tucking the chin slightly, gaze to the toes. Every single body, every single muscle in your body active. Easy for me to say. Good, inhale, we're sweeping the arms all the way up. Exhale, hinging forwards for Paschimottanasana. I don't want you to get hold of your feet though, I just want you to let the hands rest on the floor. Don't want to use any levers going from a back bend into a forward bend, we want to take it nice and easy. Perhaps gently closing the eyes here, letting the head tuck in, returning the focus internally. And then inhaling, gently easing yourself up. Let's bend the right knee. Bending it in tightly, let's allow it to fall out to the side so the sole of the right foot comes to the inside of the left thigh. And we're going to square the body with the bent leg. We're coming into a revolved Ustrasana this morning. So we want the shoulders to be in line with this straight leg as much as we can. So we're twisting to the right, opening to the right. Keep pulling the left toes up towards you, this leg is active. We're bringing the back of the left hand to the inside of the left calf, and we're just going to wrap this right hand around behind us for now, just get it out of the way. Take a breath in as we exhale, we're sliding that left hand down the inside of the leg. We can start to bend the elbow if we're getting quite a long way down. Keep that right shoulder rolling back, gaze over the right shoulder. And if it feels like it's achievable, we're going to sweep the right arm over and bring it to the toes. Otherwise, keep it tucked behind, rolling back. Feeling that stretch down the right hand side of the lower back, hopefully. Keep breathing. Get that left elbow tucked inside the left knee. This is my go-to stretch for lower back, this one. Inhale, easing yourself up. Let's sweep the right hand a big step out to the right hand side. We're going to come onto the right knee, point the left toes, lifting the hips for a big stretch with the left arm overhead. Good, keep reaching those fingers over, feel the whole of the left hand side of the body, how long and beautiful it is. Inhaling, easing yourself gently back down. Let's straighten that right leg. We're going to do another Paschimottanasana. So ground those sitting bones, pull the toes up towards you. Inhale, reach. And exhale, hinging forwards. Again, just let the hands rest on the floor. Maybe rounding the spine a little bit might feel nice this time, particularly around the upper back. Let the chin tuck in. Reach the fingertips away so the top of the upper back is really open across the shoulders. And gently inhaling yourself up. Let's bend the left knee this time. Allow that left knee to fall out. That sole of the left foot comes to the inside of the right thigh. Squaring the torso with this bent leg. Bringing the shoulders in line with the straight leg. Pull the right toes up towards you. Let's bring the back of the right hand to the inside of the right calf. Let's wrap this left hand around behind, out of the way. Keep the left shoulder rolling back. Take a breath in as you exhale, sliding down the inside of the right leg this time. Gaze over the left shoulder rolling back. And if it feels okay, let's sweep this top arm all the way over. Or keep it wrapped around behind, entirely your choice. Feeling that big stretch in the lower back. You might not feel anything if your back's not as tight as mine is. So inhaling, sweeping yourself up, left hand a big step out to the left hand side. Coming onto the left knee as we lift the hips, sweeping the right arm over by the ear. Like you're trying to grab the top of your mat in front of your left fingers. Good, inhale, easing yourself back down. We're going to come to lie down on our backs. Coming back to where we started. Knees are bent, feet are flat to the floor. Just take a moment to settle the back of the body into the mat, to really ground it down. We're going to bring the left ankle to the right knee. Let the left knee fall away. Good, let's inhale the legs into the chest. We're going to wrap the hands around, either interlacing the fingers behind the thigh or perhaps in front of the shin. Pull those legs in towards you. You can let the feet relax, let the belly relax, just let it be the arms that are doing the work, and try and let the shoulders relax down into the mat at the same time. Good, releasing the hands. Let's let the legs fall over to the right hand side. So the left sole of the left foot is flat on the floor. The right leg is laid on the floor. We can bring the arms out wide if that feels nice. Gaze over the left shoulder. Just keep pushing that left knee away. You can feel that openness across the front of the body. Maybe closing the eyes or gently lowering the gaze if you prefer. Letting everything else relax apart from that left leg. Coordinating yourself back to centre. Let's swap the ankles over. Right ankle to left knee, let the right knee fall away. And then bringing those legs in towards us, threading the right hand through the hole we've created, interlacing the fingers behind the left thigh or perhaps in front of the left shin and pulling the arms in towards us, pulling the legs in towards us. Relax the shoulders back down onto the mat. Then releasing the hands, let's let the legs fall over to the left hand side. Sole of the right foot is flat on the floor. Left leg relaxed on the floor, right knee pushes away. Arms wide or maybe just on the torso. Gaze to the ceiling or perhaps over the right shoulder. Whatever feels comfortable for you this morning. Feeling that right rib cage expand and contract with the breath. It's got lots of room to move in this position. Inhaling yourself back to centre. Release the legs, release the arms, come into your version of Shavasana. Might be legs outstretched, feet flopping to the edges of the mat, arms by your side, palms facing up. You might prefer to bend the knees. It's entirely your choice. Bring yourself into your version of Shavasana. Don't think we need our blankets for a change this morning, which is very pleasant. Let the back of the body ground down into the mat. Gently closing the eyes. If that feels nice, just letting everything go. We're just going to have a minute or two of quiet this morning. Perhaps deepening the breath a little bit, and with every exhale, letting everything go. You can let go. Gently now starting to bring your awareness back into the room. Noticing the sounds inside the room. Becoming aware of the sounds outside the room. Gently starting to wiggle the fingers and the toes. If it feels nice, reaching the arms overhead. Taking a big stretch all the way from the tips of the fingers to the tips of the toes. And then inhaling the knees into the torso, giving yourself a big hug. Maybe rolling around on the lower back a little bit if that feels nice. And then gently, with no rush at all, bring yourself over onto your right hand side, easing yourself gently up to seated. Good, sitting in a nice comfortable position. Just bring the hands into prayer at the heart. Taking a moment to offer up a little gratitude for whatever the practice has brought you this morning. And then lowering the chin to the chest, the head to the heart. Namaste.